In order to understand globalization, often people need a case study. They need some actual history as a frame of reference. And we're going to go back to October 1973 and a war that begins in the Middle East. And the war is between the Israeli Jews and many of their Arab neighboring countries. The Arab neighboring countries used the religious holiday of Yom Kippur as an opportunity to invade Israel. Their belief was that the Israeli Jews would be busy celebrating their religious holiday and they'd be caught by surprise. And they were right. They were caught by surprise. And they nearly drove the Israeli Jews into the Mediterranean Sea and destroyed the Israeli nation state. But somehow Israel survived. And they won the war. And the Arab countries that invaded Israel, they were unhappy about that, and they tried to reason, how did we lose this war? We had the element of surprise, we had the numbers advantage, and they concluded Israel must have had help from allies. It must have had help from the United States. They're using American weapons against us. How can we punish America? We can't attack America militarily. They're a superpower. We're going to attack them economically. So 12 nations of OPEC decided we're going to stop selling oil to America. And 1973 just happens to be the year where America goes from being an exporter of oil to the biggest importer of oil. So America is the biggest importer of oil, and 12 countries of OPEC, 12 of the most rich oil countries in the world, say we're not going to sell oil to America anymore. Prices of gasoline in America double. Rapidly, quickly. We've seen prices go up a lot here and fluctuate in Alberta, but they go up, they double quite quickly. And we have lineups and we have signs like this that say gas shortage. We have no gasoline. Keep looking for more gas. What ends up happening is we have inflation in America, but we also have the economy stagnate. It can't grow because there's not enough oil, there's not enough gas, but prices are going up because the price of gasoline goes up. Because oil is the lifeblood of the modern economy. Everything needs it as a building block or as a transportation unit. And when the price of oil goes up, the price of everything's going up. So Americans become desperate. They need more oil. The Soviet Union has oil, but we're still engaged in the Cold War, so we can't really get it from there. So they ask their allies to find more oil. Canada's an ally. We have oil. It's in Treaty 8, Lubicon Cree territory. So companies transnational companies come to Treaty 8 land, they come to the Lubicon Cree land, and they begin to look for oil. And we're talking about hundreds of oil workers looking for oil. The Lubicon Cree had been living a traditional lifestyle up to that point. They're hunting, they're gathering, they're trapping, and their trap lines that they depended upon were disrupted by the oil exploration. And suddenly they couldn't be self-sufficient any longer. And they went from being ferociously independent of government to being highly dependent upon government because of Alberta and Canada's global connections. Something was happening in the Middle East that the Lubicon Cree, they didn't even know who the Israeli Jews and the Arabs were or what Yom Kippur was. But in a butterfly-like effect of interconnectedness, change came to Treaty 8 land here in Alberta. That's globalization. So your goal at the end of lesson 1 here, what is globalization? To me, the story of how change comes to Treaty 8 land is the story of globalization. That sometimes it can't be anticipated, it can't be foreseen, and there's elements that you're connected to that you might not even be aware of. That's the end of lesson 1.